Most people think sugar only comes from cakes and cookies. But did you know your blood sugar can spike even before breakfast? Depending on what you drink? That surprised me too. For years, I thought my shaky mornings and sudden energy crashes were just part of aging. But the real problem was sitting right in my cup. Every morning, I used to wake up feeling like my body was fighting against me. My hands ached, my legs felt heavy, and before I even had breakfast, I could feel that crash coming, that tired, foggy feeling I knew all too well. It wasn't until I changed what I drank first thing in the morning that I noticed a real difference. No, it wasn't a pill or some miracle powder. It was simple, natural, and something most of us already have in our kitchen. Before I tell you what that drink is, my number one, I want to share 6 other powerful morning drinks that helped me along the way. These are options that many of my friends and neighbors have tried to, and they've seen real changes. If your blood sugar is all over the place, or you just want to feel steady and strong through the day, stay with me. One of these drinks might be the small change that turns everything around. CTA. If you're looking for simple ways to feel better every day, give this video a like and let's get started. Number 7, cinnamon tea. Cinnamon isn't just for holiday pies or sprinkled on toast. I discovered its real power on a cold winter morning when I was looking for something warm and comforting, but without the sugar rush. A neighbor told me about cinnamon tea, and I was skeptical at first. I mean, could something so simple actually make a difference? But that morning, I brewed a cup, just hot water and a cinnamon stick. The smell alone brought back childhood memories. But what surprised me most was how steady I felt afterward. No crash, no hunger pangs, just calm and clear. What I love about cinnamon tea is that it feels like a treat, but it's actually helping my body instead of hurting it. I used to drink orange juice or sugary coffee in the morning without even thinking. I thought I needed the kick. But cinnamon tea gives me that warm wake-up without pushing my blood sugar all over the place. And for someone like me who wants to avoid those scary sugar spikes, that's a big win. Plus, it's cheap. A few sticks of cinnamon last week's, and it's so easy to prepare. No gadgets or blenders needed. My wife started drinking it with me, and she noticed something too. Her fingers didn't swell as much in the mornings. Now, I'm not saying cinnamon tea is magic, but there's something about starting the day with something that supports your body instead of working against it. And let's be honest, we all like routines that feel good. This one feels like self-care without any effort. You just boil water, drop in the stick, and let it sit for a few minutes. I've also found that it helps curb my sweet tooth later in the day. Before, I'd be craving something sugary by mid-morning. Now I feel satisfied. Maybe it's because the flavor is slightly sweet on its own, or maybe it's just a ritual of sipping something warm and natural. Either way, it's a small change that's made my mornings better. And when you're over 60, small wins start to mean a lot more, don't they? So if you're someone who struggles with energy crashes, or if your doctor's been giving you the talk about your sugar levels, consider trying cinnamon tea tomorrow morning. Just 1 cup. No sugar, no fuss. You might be surprised how something this simple can steady your day right from the start. Number 6, apple cider vinegar drink. I'll be honest, the first time I heard about drinking vinegar, I thought it sounded crazy. Why would anyone want to drink something that smells like salad dressing first thing in the morning? But I kept hearing stories from folks at my community center. One lady, Sarah, swore by it. She said it helped her feel less hungry and kept her sugar steady through the morning. So one day I gave in. I mixed a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into a big glass of water, added a few drops of lemon, and braced myself. And to my surprise, it wasn't bad. In fact, it felt kind of refreshing. I started doing it every morning before breakfast, and after a week or so, I noticed I wasn't getting those mid-morning crashes anymore. I used to feel lightheaded around 10 a.m., sometimes shaky, but with this little drink, my energy felt smoother. It's not like coffee where you feel a jolt. It's more like a gentle push that keeps you going. And here's the best part. I felt less tempted to snack. That's a big deal for me, because I'm the type who would reach for a muffin or cookie without even thinking. One thing I always tell people is, don't overdo it. You don't need to drink it straight. That can be rough on your stomach and your teeth. Always mix it with water. I use about 1 tablespoon in a tall glass, maybe a few drops of lemon, or a pinch of cinnamon if I'm feeling fancy. It's a habit now. I keep a small bottle on the kitchen counter to remind me, and it's become part of my morning rhythm. Wake up, rinse my face, mix my drink, sit quietly and sip. Some mornings, especially in the summer, I even chill it in the fridge the night before. It turns into this crisp, zesty drink that wakes me up better than any soda ever did. And unlike sodas or sweet juices, it doesn't send my sugar through the roof. That's something I really appreciate, knowing that what I'm drinking is helping me, not hurting me. After 60, that peace of mind is worth more than gold. If vinegar sounds strange to you, I get it, but just try it once. 1 tablespoon in a tall glass of water. You don't need fancy brands or expensive blends, just the regular kind from the grocery store. I didn't believe in it either until I did, and now it's one of the most reliable tools I have for keeping my mornings smooth and my sugar steady. Number 5, unsweetened coffee. For most of my life, coffee meant cream and sugar. That's how my parents drank it, and that's how I drank it too. But as I got older and started paying attention to my blood sugar, I realized that little spoonful of sugar, or two, let's be honest, wasn't so little after all. I didn't want to give up coffee entirely. It's part of my morning ritual, that quiet moment with the newspaper or just staring out the window. So I made a small shift. I tried drinking it black. At first, it tasted bitter and strange. But after a few days, I started to appreciate the flavor underneath, the warmth, the depth, even the little bite. That change made a big difference. I no longer had that sugar spike in the morning that would send me up fast and crashing down before lunch. I started feeling more stable, more level. And over time, I began to notice something else. My cravings went down. Without the sugar first thing, I didn't feel like I needed a muffin or toast afterward. It's funny how something as simple as skipping sugar in your coffee can set a calmer tone for your entire day. It's not about being strict or punishing yourself. It's about giving your body a smoother ride. A friend of mine couldn't imagine giving up cream, so he switched to a splash of unsweetened almond milk. That worked for him. The point is, you can still enjoy your coffee, but maybe without the added sugar that secretly makes things worse. And the great thing is, coffee itself can actually support your body when it's not loaded down with sweeteners and syrups. It gives you focus, energy, and a sense of routine, all good things when you're trying to stay on track with your health. I've come to enjoy the ritual even more now, grinding the beans, hearing the gurgle of the pot, taking that first warm sip. It's a grounding moment. And when I drink it black, I know I'm starting my day with something that's working with my body, not against it. It's a quiet victory, one I can repeat every single day without effort. That's the kind of habit I like, easy to keep and full of benefits. If you're still adding sugar to your morning cup, try going without it for a week. Just 1 week. Give your taste buds time to adjust. You might be surprised how quickly you stop missing it, and how much more steady your mornings feel. Sometimes, the best health choices aren't about giving things up. They're about changing the way you enjoy them. Number 4, green smoothies. I used to think green drinks were only for gym fanatics or people who lived in California. But then my daughter made one for me after I complained about feeling tired all the time. I looked at the blender suspiciously. It had spinach, some frozen berries, a bit of banana, and water. I was expecting something grassy and awful. But you know what? It was actually delicious. Cold, refreshing, and it didn't taste like spinach at all. That was my first green smoothie, and it changed how I thought about breakfast. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy a bunch of powders or superfoods. My smoothies are simple. A handful of greens like spinach or kale, half a banana or some frozen mango, and a bit of unsweetened almond milk or just water. Sometimes I toss in a spoon of flaxseed if I'm feeling fancy. It blends up in seconds, and it fills me up in a way that toast and jam never did. Plus, I noticed I wasn't getting that morning sugar spike anymore. Instead of feeling jittery and then sleepy, I felt balanced. The great thing is, you can make it your own. Don't like kale? Use spinach. No banana? Try a few apple slices. The key is to include something green. something sweet from fruit, and something to make it smooth. You're not just drinking a vitamin bomb. You're giving your body real food with fiber, water, and natural energy. My digestion got better, and I wasn't as bloated in the mornings. That might be too much information, but hey, it matters when you're over 60. I started making extra and keeping some in the fridge for later in the day. When that afternoon slump hits, a small glass of leftover smoothie gives me a lift without making me crash. I even got my neighbor hooked on it. He used to swear by pastries and coffee, but now he tells me he feels like his mornings last longer, like he's more alive until lunchtime. And the best part? It's become fun. I experiment with new combos, and it feels good knowing I'm doing something kind for my body. If you've never tried a green smoothie, don't be scared off by the color. Start with what you like. Use a fruit you enjoy, sneak into greens, and blend. That's it. No rules, no fuss. Just real food that supports your blood sugar and leaves you feeling steady. Give it a try. Your body might just thank you with more energy, fewer cravings, and a better start to your day. Number 3, sugar-free lemonade. When I was a kid growing up in the South, nothing beat a cold glass of lemonade on a hot day. But let's be honest, it was more sugar than lemon. As I got older, I started to realize that those innocent glasses were probably doing more harm than good, especially for my blood sugar. Still, I miss that refreshing tang. So one summer, I decided to make a version that wouldn't send my glucose through the roof. I grabbed some lemons, squeezed them into a pitcher, added cold water, and instead of sugar, I used a tiny bit of stevia. The taste? Bright, tart, and clean, just like the lemonade I remembered, but without the sugar crash. That one switch brought back a part of my life I thought I had to give up. Now, I drink sugar-free lemonade almost every afternoon, especially when it's hot or when I'm feeling that sluggish dip. It hydrates, perks me up, and doesn't mess with my energy levels. I used to reach for soda or sweet tea, thinking it would lift me up, but it only made things worse. This lemonade does the opposite. It clears the fog without spiking my sugar, and I don't feel guilty about it later. Making it is simple. I squeeze 2 lemons into a big jar, add water, and stir in just enough stevia or monk fruit sweetener to take the edge off. Some days, I drop in a few mint leaves or slices of cucumber for a twist. I keep it chilled in the fridge, and it's ready whenever I need a pick-me-up. No caffeine, no sugar, no surprises. Just real flavor that helps me stay balanced. And because it's so refreshing, I end up drinking more water overall, which helps with everything from digestion to energy. My grandkids even like it. They call it grandpa juice. It feels good to share something healthy with them that still tastes like a treat. And let's be honest, staying hydrated isn't easy when water feels boring. This lemonade is a fun way to keep your fluids up, especially if you're trying to cut back on sugary drinks. And since I started replacing sodas with it, I felt less bloated, less cranky, and more alert, like my body finally has what it needs. If you've given up on lemonade because of the sugar, I get it. But don't write it off just yet. Try making a sugar-free version at home. It's cheap, quick, and incredibly satisfying. A few lemons, some cold water, and a natural sweetener. That's all you need. It's like summer in a glass, without the sugar hangover. And for anyone watching their blood sugar, that's a gift you can enjoy every day. Number 2, fruit-infused water. Water is great. We all know that. But let's be honest, plain water can get boring, especially when you're trying to drink more and stay hydrated throughout the day. A few years ago, I found myself drinking less simply because I got tired of the taste or lack of it. That's when a friend suggested I try fruit-infused water. I raised an eyebrow at first. Isn't that just fancy spa stuff? I asked, but I decided to try it anyway. I sliced up a few strawberries, dropped in some cucumber and mint, and let it sit in the fridge overnight. The next morning I took a sip, and wow, it tasted clean, fresh, and just interesting enough to keep me coming back for more. What I love about fruit-infused water is that it turns hydration into a small pleasure. Instead of reaching for soda or juice, I find myself actually wanting water because it tastes like something special, and it's all natural. No sugar, no chemicals, no artificial flavors. Just real fruit and herbs doing their thing. You can mix it up however you like. Lemon and ginger, orange and basil, blueberries and lavender. It's fun to play around, and every batch feels like a little treat. That variety has helped me drink more water consistently, something I used to struggle with. I started keeping a big jug in the fridge, so it's always ready. That way, whenever I feel thirsty or even just a bit sluggish, I don't have to think. I just pour a glass and enjoy. It's also a lifesaver in the summer. I used to get lightheaded or dizzy on hot days, even after breakfast. But now, staying hydrated has become second nature, and I feel steadier and more alert. It's amazing how something as simple as better water can support your blood sugar and your energy at the same time. Even when I have guests over, I set out a pitcher with some fruit slices floating in it. People always comment on how pretty it looks, but the real beauty is how good it makes you feel. My neighbor, who was struggling with cutting back on juice, said this helped him make the switch. He didn't feel like he was missing out because this felt like an upgrade, not a downgrade. And that's the key with habits that stick. They need to feel good, not like punishment. So if you're tired of plain water or looking for a healthy way to replace sugary drinks, fruit-infused water might be your answer. It's simple, affordable, and surprisingly satisfying. Just pick your favorite fruit, slice it up, and let it sit in water for a few hours. That's it. No recipes, no measuring, no pressure. Just delicious hydration that your body and your blood sugar will thank you for. Number 1, water. It might sound too simple to be true, but plain old water has done more for my blood sugar and my energy than anything else I've tried. I used to think, how can water make a difference? It doesn't have vitamins. It's not green. It doesn't taste like anything. But once I started drinking a full glass of water first thing in the morning, before coffee, before breakfast, before anything, I began to notice changes. My mornings felt smoother. I wasn't as foggy. I didn't feel that sudden crash around 9 or 10 a.m. It was like my body had been thirsty for years, and I was finally listening. There's something powerful about starting the day with hydration. After hours of sleep, your body wakes up needing water, not food, not caffeine, just water. I used to skip it and go straight to coffee, thinking I needed energy, but all I really needed was to rehydrate. Now, I keep a glass on my nightstand. As soon as I get up, I drink it slowly, mindfully, and I feel a difference almost immediately. My digestion improved, my cravings went down, and even my skin looked a little better. I wasn't expecting that from water, but there it was. The funny thing is, we all know we should drink more water, but knowing and doing are two different things. What helped me was making it part of my routine. I tie it to things I already do, like brushing my teeth or feeding the cat. That way I don't forget. And if I ever feel sluggish during the day, I ask myself, have I had enough water? 9 times out of 10, I haven't. And when I drink a glass, I perk right up. It's a simple fix that costs nothing and helps everything. I've also noticed fewer cravings when I'm well hydrated. Sometimes I used to think I was hungry, but I was really just thirsty. Now, when I feel that urge to snack, I drink a glass of water first and wait a few minutes. More often than not, the craving passes. It's not magic. It's just your body trying to communicate. And once you learn to listen, things start falling into place. Less sugar, more stability, better mornings, all from a glass of water. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't underestimate water. It's not fancy. It won't trend on social media, but it works. It's the foundation of every system in your body and the easiest way to support your blood sugar without pills or diets. Start your day with a glass. Just one. And watch what happens. Getting older doesn't mean giving up on feeling good. I used to think the fatigue, the brain fog, the roller coaster of energy, it was just part of turning the page into my 60s. But it turns out a lot of that had to do with what I was putting into my body each morning. Once I started choosing better drinks, simple, natural, steadying, I noticed something surprising. My body responded. It was like it had been waiting for me to finally listen. Not perfectly, not overnight, but gradually, in ways I could feel. And that gave me hope. What I love about these 7 drinks is how approachable they are. You don't need fancy equipment, exotic ingredients, or complicated steps. You just need a glass, a moment of intention, and a bit of curiosity. Whether it's cinnamon tea warming your hands or a cold glass of infused water on a hot day, each sip becomes a gentle act of care. And that's something we all deserve. Not just the young, not just the healthy. You, me, all of us who still want to feel strong, present, and alive. I've shared this with friends in my community center, and now I'm sharing it with you. Because if even one of these habits helps you feel a bit more steady, a bit more yourself, then it's already worth it. And if this message spoke to you, if you felt even a spark of motivation or a new idea to try, I'd love for you to click like and subscribe. We've got more coming. We're building something here, a space for folks like us to learn, to try, and to thrive together. That said, I want to gently remind you, we're all different. What works for me might not be right for you. These drinks help me, and maybe they'll help you too. But always talk to your doctor before making big changes, especially if you're managing diabetes or any health condition. Think of this not as a prescription, but as a friend sharing what's worked. The real goal is to support your body in the most loving way possible. So tomorrow morning, when the day is fresh and quiet, take a moment. Pour yourself something kind. Water, tea, a smoothie, whatever feels right. And as you take that first sip, know this. It's not too late to feel better. Not too late to start again. And you're not doing it alone.